Hello there, World Cup's just round the corner. So we're going to do today some half-time snacky food, party food, whatever you want to call it. So from Marinade, we've got this beautiful pack of minute steak, got some ginger and bits and pieces and iron brew. So we're going to make some sticky beef and iron brew skewers. So I'll just open this up and we'll show you how to do it. Okay, we're going to start. They're already nice and thin. I'm just going to take them a little bit thinner. Not to make them go further, but just to make sure that they're a nice heat. Now we're also going to treat them with what the Chinese call a velveting mix. And basically that's adding bicarbonate of soda. And what that does is, not a lot, but a little bit. What it does is it breaks down all the bits and pieces in the meat and makes it super, super succulent. If you've ever wondered why when you go to the Chinese and you get the crispy beef, it's always tender, even though you can see it's the rubbish cut, it's because they use this velveting technique, which I'll show you in a minute. So we're just going to bash that out a little bit. That's enough. And then we're going to cut strips about yay deep. Yep. So you can imagine on a skewer, it's going to be waved in. So that's going to be, you can either do 1 or 2 deep, depending on how generous you are and how big your stick is. So I'll do the rest of this beef and then we'll start doing the marinade. Right, so into the bowl, we're going to put a little bit of oyster sauce. You get this up the road at Tesco's. Any good supermarket will do an oyster sauce. That's about half a teaspoon. About a teaspoon of sriracha, more if you like it spicy. Got some fresh ginger, a couple of cloves of garlic, throw them in for a laugh. Soy sauce. Oh, I better get one that's already open. So yeah, soy sauce, about a tablespoon. Sesame oil. If you haven't got it, don't worry about it. It just adds a little bit of, Chinese. About a teaspoon of that. About a tablespoon or so of iron brew. There will be plenty of other iron brew going in a bit. Right, here comes the alchemy. So about, you don't want to go mental with this stuff. About half a teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda. Okay, not baking powder, bicarbonate of soda. This is what does the magic to the sinews and the meat in that. I don't know the chemistry behind it, but there is plenty. Good tablespoonful of honey. Give that a good mix up. Oh, yum yum. Oh, that is nice. Okay, now we're going to put our bits of beef in. Now, if you didn't make full strips, just do little bits and build up 2 or 3 on one, if you see what I mean. Okay, then the velvet side of it is the corn flour. And not only is this a marinade, but it becomes kind of almost like a batter. So we'll start with a heaped tablespoon and see how we go. But you're going to need to get your hands in there and mix it up. And what you're after is like a paste at the end of it. But spend a few minutes really mixing it up. You can see already that it's going to need another tablespoon of flour. There we go. Yeah, that should do it. So, as I say, 2 or 3 minutes, really mixing it up. Make sure it's thoroughly mixed in so that bicarb can do its magic. So that's going to go out of the fridge now for at least 2 hours. No, I didn't say. Pinch of salt. There we go. Okay, we're going to start the sauce off now. So I've got a half cup of white wine vinegar, 2 half cups of iron brew, there we go, a half cup of ketchup, excuse the sounds. About a tablespoon of light soy sauce. Now this goes in for the salt content as opposed to the dark rich flavour. I've got a spring onion, a couple of cloves of garlic, they'll just get thrown in, some slices of ginger, they'll get thrown in. So that's your sour part, so we're going to put in some honey, which is our sweet. So half a cup of honey, that goes in. And then we are going to thicken this, but for the moment we're just going to let it sort of brew out and let all these flavours mix and become one. So that's going to simmer for about 10 minutes. Right, here's the meat we prepared earlier. As you can see, it's kind of changed texture. This is what the bicarb does to it. So anyway, to make up the sticks, we've got some bamboo sticks here. Just going to wave it on. So in, out, that sort of thing. Now you can either leave it, oh look, that's nice and dainty. You've got one on a stick, so you'll get lots of sticks that way. Or you can squeeze it up and do a couple on each stick, so it's more of a mouthful. That's up to you. I'm going to leave it there though. So I'm going to go ahead and do all of these. Okay, that's them all made up. As you can see, and all we're going to do is fry these. Not deep frying, but not shallow, not too shallow, because we want to get a nice sort of texture to them. You'll find that the corn flour is going to go not like a batter, but like a coating. So they will be groovy. Now let's go over to the stove and sort this sauce out. Just before we go to the thing, I think it might be nice to put a bit of garnish in there. So I've got some very finely chopped red chilli, not the really hot ones, the mild ones. And I've got some of the wife's lovely garlic chives from the garden. So just chop all this up finely and we'll drop it in the sauce in a minute. Okay, we've got the iron brew glaze. So I'm just going to take out the bits that we dropped in, the garlic, the ginger and the spring onion. They've done their job, they can come out now. And then I've got here some what they call corn flour slurry. And it's just a couple of tablespoons or dessert spoons of corn flour and some water, just enough to make it move. And then we'll just add a little bit at a time to bring the sauce together. You don't want it too thick because you want it kind of as a glaze, but you do want it to stick. It's not bad. Tiny bit more, I think, because I want it to stick to the meat. There we go, it's nice and thick now. So what I'll do is I'll throw in those chilies and chives, like so. You can see when the steam's not being stupid, you've got a nice sort of thick glaze for your beefy. So, onto the beefy. Right, so we're cooking the beefies now. I've got a medium hot pan. I've got about ½ centimetre of oil in it, and I'm just frying for about 30 to 40 seconds one side, and then swapping it over, frying the other side. Right, that's them just about cooked. Can you see the nice caramelised texture on them? That's what you're after. So I'll take them out and carry on doing the rest. Okay, they're all fried off, nice texture. So what we'll do is just take the kebab, stick, bite, whatever word you want to use, and just coat it in that sticky sauce. Oh, you can see. How super sexy is that? Sticky, sweet, meaty, beefy. Get that half time, couple of beers down your throat, you're laughing. Look at that. Let's do it over the white so you can see it properly. I would do a photograph before I put it out. But there you go, that's it. Give that a try, you're going to love that with a pint.